can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live. I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up?
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Gonna throw on a run. Complete to the 25. To the 30. Lincoln stop 35 40. Lincoln stop 45 50. 45 40. Run Lincoln. 25 20. 50. 10 5. Lincoln stop. Lincoln stop. Lincoln stop.
Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30 near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Georgia. 54 seconds to go. Keely Ringo with about a 75-yard return. No flags. 32-18. Let the celebration begin.
I broke my chair. I came right through a chair. A metal steel chair with about a 5-inch tension. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now.
Do you believe it?
Nope. I don't. But it happened, and I'm glad it happened. That is where we had left y'all on Tuesday. Wednesday couldn't get on air, had a ton of problems. I apologize, but I'm back, and we're back, and Cole Johnson's with me. Good morning, sir.
What is up, everybody? Hey, how you doing, Brian?
Do you know you're absolutely bleeping brilliant? Because I caught your bronsexual confession right before I went on air.
Yeah.
Because I needed a laugh bad.
Oh, well, I'm glad I provided one.
You caught the error that most people won't catch. We'll dive into that in a couple of moments because I got a bronsexual confession of my own. We're extended today because my normal hour one guest won't be able to make it until this afternoon. So I said, you know what? I'll add an hour and I'll bring you in at the bottom of it. But Chris Dietz will join at his normal time on this Thursday to talk all things national championship, Georgia Bulldogs. And oh yeah, there's a playoff game he's going to convince me that his team is going to win. And that playoff game is set to occur at 4:30 on Sunday. And anyone who knows me knows which game that is. We'll get into all of that. But before I drop my version of the bronsexual confessions, and I know you got plenty up your sleeve, and we're going to use them today. So the Nets beat the Bulls 138-112 last night. Whoop-de-freaking-do. That's just one time that they beat us. One. I got bombarded this morning.
You did? Well, why would you get bombarded?
By Brooklyn Mets fans. Did you see the way we performed against your Bull? Pump the brakes a little bit, will you please? You had one good game against us. One.
Out of three.
Out of three. So you beat us by 20 plus in the United Center. We did it to you first.
In the same building.
In the same damn building in front of 22,000 people. And we got a lot to say about Kyrie Irving. We're going to do that a little later. But since I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, nor did Cole, here we go.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the LeBron Sexual Confessions.
Now then, normally I would lay some perfunctory down before we get into the funk. Not today. Partner, do you remember me saying I want all the smoke several times on this program?
Yes, yeah, you said that multiple times in one setting on this program, yes.
Well, that has not changed and will not change.
Oh, you still want all the smoke, okay.
Oh, hell yeah, I want all the smoke, especially when I say LeBron James is a bleeping coward after he got his ass kicked by the Sacramento Kings last night.
A coward? Why would you mention such a well, all right, let me channel bronsexuals.
Please
why
do.
Would you say, but sir, you hater, why are you channeling such blasphemous crap about our king? About my man.
About your pauper and about your fraud. I knew you would jump right in, and I love it. This is exactly why I say what I say about LeBron James. First of all, he wants to play a GM, just as the Cleveland Cavaliers and the current iteration of the Los Angeles Lakers. Secondly, I've seen him do something since 2004 that irks me. He doesn't stick around to shake hands. That's the main reason why I call him a coward. And since we want to talk, and if y'all caught Cole's Bronsexual Confessions yesterday on YouTube, subscribe to the Cole Sports channel. I am a faithful subscriber, and I'm hooked. He put a graphic up yesterday, and the reason I'm referring to this, and I said laying the foundation for this, he put up a graphic yesterday that shows LeBron at age 17, age 27, and at age 37. And you know what the sentence that follows? Quote, we've never seen anyone do what LeBron is doing at age 37. Close quote. That's a fucking lie.
Sickening.
That's a lie. That's a blasphemous statement. That is an incorrect statement.
Most certainly incorrect.
I guess y'all don't want to know about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, do you? I guess y'all don't want to know about Julius Erving in his final season in the NBA, do you? You want to talk about carrying a team to the playoffs that was broken because of injuries? Look up the 87 Philadelphia 76ers. Look up the 86-87 Philadelphia 76ers that went the distance in the first round against the Milwaukee Bucks. There's a team carried by a leader to the postseason and through the first round. Milwaukee was just a stronger team. You know why I call LeBron James a coward? Because LeBron James doesn't like defeat, but he's a sore loser. I'll say it again. He's a sore loser. He's been walking off the court, not shaking hands since 2004 in a home game against the Atlanta Hawks, where Atlanta socked him in the mouth in overtime. I can understand wanting it so bad and your teammates not rounding into form yet, but you have a little patience. LeBron has no patience. He has no balls. Now, people are going to be so mad at me when I repeat some facts here. LeBron James is old. He's 37. He's in his 19th year. Okay, let me reverse that and put it in a way that you bronsexuals understand before I interject. Fact, LeBron James is 37 years old. He celebrated his 37th birthday on December 30th. Fact, he is in his 19th NBA season. 19. That's a rarity.
It is.
Fact, he is a phenomenal athlete. Okay? He is a phenomenal athlete. I'll lay those three down before I say this. Father Time is undefeated. Fact.
And will always be undefeated.
LeBron's 28-point average this season is a little bit bloated. Change that. Is a lot bloated. Because his teammates doesn't come through when he wants them to. Can I say that again? Yeah, I'll say it again. His teammates doesn't come through when he wants them to. Go to Sacramento last night and look at the tape. And there was a former Laker last night that went completely off on this team and on him. You know who that former Laker was? Hall of Famer James Worthy.
Oh, you mean the same James Worthy Bronxexuals clown?
Big Game James. One of my favorite forwards of all time. I've never shied away from that. For you see, Bronxexuals, you look at it through purple and gold colored, rose colored glasses, and you're blind as bats.
You're blind as bats.
Am I telling a lie?
Yeah, they're blind as bats. Yeah.
And y'all think one of my favorite movies is Speed with Keanu Reeves and Dennis Hopper. I borrow this quote. And you think you can just walk away? You got blinders on to the world. Close quote.
I will channel Flavor Flav.
Please do.
So when It Takes a Nation Millions to Hold Us Back, they had a song called She Watched Channel Zero.
Uh-huh.
And in the beginning of that song, he says, quote, "You blind, baby. You blind from the fact of who you are because you're watching that garbage." Close quote. And many Bronxexuals can be described from that passage right there.
Blind as bats, I say. Blind as bleeping bats. For you see, that 28.6 that he's averaging now, he's got about 2 tons on his shoulders, which means every teammate he's trying to carry to the finish line. You guys are 21 up and 21 down. 21 and 21. You're struggling to stay over 500 and we're barely into January. Just makes me wonder, are you going to be under 500 by the time the All-Star break gets here? Are you going to try to vote LeBron James onto the All-Star team when, here it comes, he doesn't deserve it? That loud thump you heard was my partner's mouth going through the floor. He doesn't deserve to be an all-star. He hasn't played like an all-star. He hasn't shown the leadership like an all-star. He hasn't, here it comes, looked like an all-star. You can throw all the stats at me that you want. You can throw all the numbers of what he did in his stretch in the pivot, and he doesn't look like a pivot. You can throw all the numbers at me in his stretch as a point guard, and he ain't a point guard. We all know that. You can throw all the numbers at me at his natural position, and there are still some that are better. Better. Here's the word again, better.
Unfortunately, we're going to see him in the game.
Of course.
Because of 2 reasons. One, his name value, because unfortunately he has the biggest name in the NBA still to this moment. And the game next month is actually going to be
in Cleveland. See that right there? Let me be the commissioner of the NBA. I'd either do one of 2 things. Move it or cancel it. I would.
Cancel it.
I'd either move it from Cleveland or I'd cancel the whole thing altogether. Because it's going to be a media circus. It's going to be a fiasco. It's going to be a love fest that shouldn't happen. Why do I say that? LeBron walked away from y'all not once, but twice. Trying to find greener pastures. And there ain't any. You go through the same thing with a new team that you do with your old one. Same cotton picking thing. And yet, these bronzexuals will look at the numbers and they have the unmitigated gall to try to make him, and here I go throwing up, an MVP candidate. They want to try to make him a blankety blank, bleep bleep, deleted expletive MVP candidate. Fill in the blanks.
You know, when I did the video yesterday, it took all of my strength to not laugh when I mentioned the words LeBron James an MVP candidate come out of my mouth.
It's taken all the strength I have in me not to cuss when I say that. Laugh too, for that matter. It just shows how nearsighted these bronzexuals are. That they want to invoke their king with 100 million's follower into a conversation he should never be a part of again. Ever.
Gets old. That never gets old.
Oh, hell no, it doesn't get old. It never will get old. 100 million's follower. That phrase alone should tell you the slight that bronzexuals have when it comes to this guy. My favorite. Three words. He changed lives. Who the hell told you that lie?
And there's more. So, oh my gosh. He changed lives.
Let me say that again. He changed lives.
Not he changes lives. He changed lives.
That line again. That line right there. Those words right there, including, especially written by the bronzexual who had the unmitigated gall to type those words and put them in the same doggone sentence, should tell you the purple and gold colored glasses or the red and black glasses or the wine and gold glasses that they're wearing unabashedly. There's a word. He changed lives. Where? How? When? There's your question. When? When does that thing happen?
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't. As far as I am concerned, it has not. Best part about this whole thing, those of us who actually think and actually look at the entire situation, look at the entire scope of his work, we know he's coming to the end of his career and he wants to end it in Los Angeles. But Cole Johnson, I'm going to say something that's going to piss a lot of bronzexuals off. And I dare any one of you to find the lie with what I'm going to say next. The sentence is, he's ruined 3 franchises. I'll wait for the rebuttal, bronsexuals. I will wait. For you see, you can look at the damage that he's done to the Cleveland Cavaliers twice, to the Miami Heat since he couldn't be the GM, and to the Los Angeles Lakers. All because of y'all's king. These franchises will be taking 2 decades at least to get back into competition. And then on each occasion, he spent 7 years or less with each franchise. 7 with the Cavs, 4 with Miami, 4 with the Cavs again, and now this. It's a mess that he created. But bronsexuals, you will never call him out the way he is supposed to be called out. You will never call him to the carpet the way he is supposed to be called to the carpet, the way that Cole and I call him to the carpet. Are we saying that LeBron sucks? No. Are we saying he lacks a lot as a basketball player skill-wise? Yep.
Yeah.
Never hid that. Never will hide that. He changed lives. 100 million's follower.
Never gets old.
If that's what you base your basketball acumen on when it comes to this guy, then I feel sorry for you. I borrow the phrase of Sir Mix-a-Lot when he described his beloved Supersonics. I don't think so, punk. Not in my house. Close this, will you, Cole? Please.
Oh, sure. Look, bronsexuals. It's just this simple, this plain. You are grasping at straws, straight up. The fact that you want to snow people so bad and having them be thrown off and think that this guy at 17 in the NBA is putting up numbers like he did at 37 in the NBA just shows the depths that you will stoop to want to snow everybody under. But you ain't gonna snow my man, and you ain't gonna snow me under, because we know the deal. Quite simply put, we already know the deal with you all, because LeBron James is the only person you would let clap your cheeks. In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I just threw up. This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions. Lord.
Kyrie Irving, you're next.
Not from one set of clowns to another clown.
As I said, Kyrie Irving, you're next.
Dummy.
After the break.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delicia on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delicia, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up, the kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delicia. Just go to YouTube and search Miss Delicia, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
Back in the Noisey studio. Thank you, Sonia, for naming the studio. Now, just got to put a sponsor behind it. You want to sponsor the show or you want to sponsor the studio? Drop an email to snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. That's snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. And since you're typing, sir, want to get your knuckles ready?
Oh, it's like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I warned everybody coming into today. I missed yesterday. I had some things to deal with. I took a physical day from work on Tuesday. I took a mental day yesterday because when I was setting up, I'll let the cat out of the bag. When I was setting things up, everything fell apart. And I think my wife heard me all the way in Edinburgh. And I'm here in Columbus, Indiana. I think she heard me in Edinburgh just going completely off. And somehow, and I know you've been through this, she soothed me through the phone line, through the ether, as many would say. She soothed me. It's like everything's going to be all right. So I took a mental day and I didn't think. But now that that's out of the way, and now that Cole and I are back on the air on this extended version of Snowman in the Morning, you have a little business to do, sir.
Oh, well.
I think, what am I going after? I think Cole needs to send one of these.
If you insist.
I do.
And you mentioned Kyrie, so I'm assuming this is where this is being aimed at, right?
The keys are going.
Okay, that's what I thought. Email Kyrie Irving, CC, Nets fan, BCC, the Woke People's Champ fan. Subject of email, Albatross. Body of email. Now, when I say the word albatross, what do I personally mean? Well, I'll give you the definition real fast. So, an albatross, normally it's referring to as a bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a very large oceanic bird.
Yep.
But also, when someone is called an albatross, it is a subject that causes deep concern and anxiety often.
Well, yeah, it does.
Now, if I'm wrong, sir, please correct me. When we mention the name Kyrie Irving and you see the people who are around him, teammates, coaches, family at times, even fans, does that definition seem to apply to Mr. Irving?
I don't see the lie.
That's what I thought.
I can't find the lie.
Yeah. So we celebrate this albatross.
Why?
You would have thought a conquering hero from a war that they fought was ushered into Indianapolis when he returned. Apparently, the NBA is all right again because Irving can play road games. I'll get to that road game in a moment. Because I'll get to another road game that he just recently played in a moment as well. Also, apparently, Mr. Irving could possibly play home games too. I know it sounds odd, it sounds strange, it sounds ridiculous, considering the Nets had this hardcore stance that dates back 3 months. But never fear. The Woke People's Champ is here. And what did this situation unearth? Well, apparently, Kyrie can play home games now for the Nets. However, it would come with the following. So the first time that he does so, it will come with a warning from well, I think there would be Kings County, but from New York State, basically, or New York City. So first would be a warning. The second will be a $1,000 fine. The third will be a $2,000 fine. And then the fourth and thereon would be a $5,000 fine. Now, the Nets are actually thinking like they went back to New Jersey. They're thinking like they want to be up on the Knicks because they're actually considering paying all of those fines.
Whoa, back up. Yeah. What?
Yes, you heard me correctly.
Say that again. I'll throw the challenge flag on that. Repeat that?
Yes. So the Nets are actually considering Kyrie playing home games and they will pay the fines that he would incur should he play home games. Yes. The hard stance that you heard the Nets brass say 3 months almost to the day can now almost be evaporated. But they're debating on if they should pay these fines.
No, and no.
In lieu of greasing the wheels for Kyrie to be on the court at Barclays.
Isn't that a form of cheating?
That's
Am I reading this wrong?
Nope. So there is a loophole, a magic loophole where Mr. Stanwood Kyrie could be unvaccinated and still play in Brooklyn.
Hold on, I need a drink.
Yeah, that was something that I read up on yesterday. I was like, oh, this is how they're going to try to get around that ruling.
The Nets pay the fines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to choke.
So, let's go back to the road games that he can play without the Nets being fined and by Kyrie being fined.
Mm-hmm.
So he put up 22, and everybody thought he put up 62 in the victory against the Pacers. And people were raving about the fact that he had this burst and that he split double teams and that he was the man in the stretch and all of that crap.
Yeah, crap being the functional word. I'm sorry. Then, go on, please.
No, that's fine. And then we get to Portland. Now, if you are unaware of what happened, I give a small sample size of what that was on my YouTube channel, Co Sports with a Z. Go under the 2-minute warning playlist. You'll find Kyrie Irving. So, in a nutshell, you had Kyrie who lost his handle and he was trying to regain possession. So he runs to the ball, but he's running and standing. Meanwhile, the Blazers' Nasir Little decides to dive. And it just so happened that Little was diving right around Irving's legs. And Irving sort of twisted his ankle a bit. He didn't hurt it, but he did tweak it. This is why I say albatross. Now, the Nets went on to lose that game. To me, the final score doesn't matter. The L is what does. The post-game press conference was the ridiculous part, where he had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the temerity, the stones, and the nerve to say, gosh, I still can't believe I'm about to say this. Quote, there is no place in our game for this. Close quote. Now, what is he talking about? He said that Mr. Little should not hustle, should not want to dive for a loose ball, because that has no place in today's NBA.
Whoa, whoa. So, according to Lyrie,
not Lyrie,
there's no place for hustle in today's NBA? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, I mean, he had the nerve to actually say, with Nasir Little diving for a ball like that, he actually did say there is no place in our game for it. His words, not mine. I didn't paraphrase. Those words came out of that man's mouth.
For those of you watching on the video feed or the television feed, you see my face right now. For those of you listening via audio, this is a full, unadulterated, unscripted, unedited face palm after hearing that quote.
And I wish I could say April Fool's online, but no, he actually said it. That came out of his mouth.
I need a drink again.
And what makes it even funnier, Mr. Irving, is that you came from a school, albeit you probably played maybe half a year in it at Duke, where the now former head coach, Mike Krzyzewski, he coached, lived, breathed, died. He hasn't been dead yet, but he lives and he breathes the ethos of extra hustle. If there's a loose ball, you get on the floor and die for it. So basically, when you said this to Nasir Little, and credit to Mr. Little, he said, "I do it again," and I'm glad he would, because I want him to do that again.
I want him to do it again. I want him to do it again.
It's that the comment that you made, Mr. Irving, and I want you, Woke People's Champ fan, to understand what I'm saying to your champion. The fact that you said that spits in the face of Nasir Little. It spits in the face of all the NBA players that can't perform, all the NBA players that play like him today, and it spits in the face of your college head coach, Mike Krzyzewski. Because he would look at a player like Nasir Little, and he would applaud that. He would look at the entitled opinion that you just had of Mr. Little with disdain.
And
would call you
face.
And then after the laughter, he would look at you and say, "You spoiled little brat." You see, you have people who idolize you. You have people who hold placards that says "Stand with Kyrie." You have people who will die in the wall with you. You have people who tell you, "Stick it to the man." And this is before your pandemic stance. This was when you decided to, 13 months ago, just simply up and leave the Nets so you can shake your groove thing with your sister. You, sir, are out of pocket. And because of how you are, because of what you think, because of what you are, that is why you are labeled an albatross by me, because nothing good can come from your presence there. We saw it the year before when you barely had a presence when Durant wasn't on the team, Kevin Durant. We saw it last year when Kevin Durant took over the team, and I think you felt that you really didn't like it and you didn't feel that you had a place on the team. So you just took your ball and ran home for half the year. Then you came back, you decided, "Oh, this is pretty good," and then you tweak your ankle in the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Bucks. And now you are almost 3 months off. You come back this past week. You haven't even been playing a week into your 2022 regular season, and you're making us look at you as if you do not have the brain that God gave you when you were born. How can you insult a man who plays a sport you proclaim to love the way we want to see professional basketball players play it? We want 15 Nasir Littles on teams.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Having 15 of you would just cause everybody to not even want to show up in the arena. Heck, one of you makes it debatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how. I really do not know how you don't have Kevin Durant choke you out on a nightly basis. Because if I were Durant and I looked at you, Irving, I would actually say to you, quote, "You remember when you said that we should create our own culture? You're about to feel the culture that you're creating with me right now." Close quote. And what proceeds after that would be 2 hands wrapped around your throat. You fool.
Thank you for saying. Thank you. Thank you for saying these two words.
You fool!
You unadulterated, abject fool. You are exasperating to watch, and I'm not a Nets fan. I can only imagine those who are in New Jersey or in Manhattan or in Queens or in Bronx or in Brooklyn or in Staten Island who actually are Nets fans, who would look at you and see the actions that you create and cause the chasm that you do. Because everywhere you go, that's what you create. Ask LeBron James for the Cavaliers of the Cavaliers days. Heck, he's probably still licking his broken heart to this day. Ask the Celtics. I mean, look, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are probably doing dances and jigs because you're not on the team.
Because
anymore.
you're gone. Because you're not on the team anymore. Because you're not ruining the team anymore. Oops.
And now you're on the Nets, where I'm sure the head coach Steve Nash is popping Advil every single night because of you.
He's popping Xanax every night. I don't mean that. Just joking when I say that. But the Advil works. and Harden has already shown what he thinks about you, because he's like, I'm not re-signing with this team. It's a zoo. And it ain't the Bronx Zoo either.
And it's not the Bronx Zoo. The only way you can stop being an albatross, Kyrie, is if you actually start being mature.
That ain't gonna happen.
You see these immature antics. You're 30 now. These immature antics are old for a 15-year-old, much less a man your age. But you consistently and continually act like the spoiled little brother that we just want to smack to make sure that you can get some semblance of sense to go into your brain. Now, am I advocating violence? No. Am I advocating abuse? No. I'm not. But what I am advocating is for you, a grown man, to act like one. Because you know what people do with albatrosses, right? They get sick of you. They clip you out of their lives. And they toss you as far away from them as the East is to the West.
Yep.
Tighten up, son. Because your act has gotten old. For 8 years.
Quick.
Cole Johnson, Cole Sports, with a Z, on YouTube.com in association with Snowman Digital Media and Brian Snow and Snowman in the Morning. Oh my goodness.
Bravo, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Bravo.
That dude makes me sick.
Kyrie Irving, you are a 100% uncut coward. You had one of the greatest college basketball coaches at your disposal for advice, for ways to get better, and you didn't use him at all. How can we tell? How can folks like Cole and I tell? Your play on the court and your behavior off of it.
Enough said on that, because you're right.
Now I gotta go throw up. Back in a minute.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning, where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delisha on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delisha, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up, the kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delicia. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delicia, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
The Twitter thing, the Instagram thing, the Pinterest thing, the Facebook thing, it's all one ID. Official SIT Morn. That's official SIT Morn. That's the ID that you need. I have an email to send myself here in a couple minutes, considering it's Super Wild Card weekend, and tomorrow, all football, all day long. We're going to preview every playoff game this weekend, including a wild card game on a Monday. Yes. That
Monday Night Football comes to the playoffs.
Yep, Monday Night Football is in January. As Dave Jagler said after Howie Kendrick's miraculous grand slam, do you believe it? And no, I don't. But I'm going to enjoy it. Whether I'm at home or at work, I'm going to enjoy it. And my boss said to me, are you watching football this weekend? Do you have to ask me such a question?
Yeah, your boss
I was messing with.
They
know me. They were kidding around with me. They know me. This portion of Snowman in the Morning brought to you in part by the Diaspora Psychedelic Society. Want to get into some total wealth? You want to get into total wellness? Looking at nature base ethnogens and sacred medicines, give diasporapsychedelicsociety.org a visit. That's diasporapsychedelicsociety.org. And thank you to the folks at Transform You Radio for that sponsor, as well as Miss Delicious Kindergarten and Transitional Kindergarten. All right. Before I get Chris Dietz in here for his take, I have a take of my own. And it involves sending one of these. Email Cowboy fan. CC Garoppolo hater. Subject of email. You'll be sorry. Body of email.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good. Get him.
I start with this. You know the most dangerous player on the 49ers right now? A lot of you would guess George Kittle. Actually, no. A lot of you would guess Juwan Jennings. Actually, no. A lot of you would even guess Deebo Samuel. Actually, no. The most dangerous player right now is Jimmy Garoppolo. Here's why. In a game where he was playing injured, he played the guttiest game of his life. 23 of 32, 316 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. One of those picks occurred in the red zone, as we know, and it led to the Rams getting the lead. But what did Garoppolo do? He took his team down for the tie in 61 seconds. 88 yards, 61 seconds. Tie game. And in overtime, took him 65 yards. And what eventually turned out to be the game-winning field goal. Now, I'm going to do a deeper dive in previewing this game tomorrow and also on a separate segment on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, if you're watching via YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Dallas does a few things good. Not well, but good. They play with a lot of finesse. They play through Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and everybody on that offense except one, Ezekiel Elliott. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, partner, but haven't I said so many times over that the offense needs to go through Ezekiel Elliott? Because that's the way their offense is built. Haven't I said that?
You have.
Matter of fact, I put it in the form of a question. Why aren't you using your best weapon? And your best weapon's not Dak Prescott. Oh, the hatred I got when I posed that question, and people didn't even bother to look where I was looking. I never said Dak Prescott sucks.
Because he doesn't.
I never said Dak Prescott was a bad quarterback.
Because he isn't.
I'm just saying use your best weapon. And all of you Cowboy fans want to say Dak Prescott's our best weapon. If your best weapon, and Cole brought this to my attention and a few others have, if Dak Prescott is throwing for 4,000 yards a season, then your best weapon is not being used.
And that's the problem.
Dallas wants to play with finesse. The 49ers want to fight. And Cole said this here and on his channel. And I'll keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. Dallas wants to play with finesse and scoot around you. Mm-hmm. The 49ers want to go through you. I'll say that again. Dallas wants to skirt around you. The 49ers want to go through you. Which means they're using the hell out of their running game. Which means Elijah Mitchell may get 25 carries or more, but the minimum's going to be 25. But this is all about Jimmy Garoppolo. I was perusing social media.
Oh, no.
Before the Rams game. And a tweet said, Garoppolo cannot throw downfield or outside the numbers. Did you see the game-tying drive where he threw downfield and outside the numbers to Deebo Samuel? Know what that result was? A 55-yard completion. He threw downfield and outside the numbers in overtime to Juwan Jennings. Know what that result was? A 34-yard completion. And the end result? The 49ers are in the playoffs. And Cole, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They are the most dangerous team in the NFC.
I can't correct you at all. No, but here's the funny part. So you were perusing social media. I was actually perusing mainstream media, and
oh no,
yeah, there was a there was an analyst who was a former Cowboys player, and obviously he still is a Cowboys fan,
of course,
who was all in his feelings when the other analysts, because there was two others, were actually the two analysts and the moderator were all on board saying, well, you know that 49ers team, they're more dangerous than any other team in the NFC. So Duke was all in his feelings talking about, well, how the heck can you all say that when you have the body of work the Cowboys have put together? And all I had to say to that is, you want Dak Prescott to always throw over 300 yards. All the 49ers care about is getting them W's. And more than likely, they'll amass 350 yards on offense. They will do their best to have at least 125 of those on the ground.
Yep.
No matter if they're up 17 or down 17, as they proved this past Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what makes them dangerous and different, because their style travels, the Cowboys style does not. It should, but it does not, for the reason you have just said.
Dallas wants to go around you. The 49ers want to go through you. That's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
One team wants to go around you. The other wants to punch you in the mouth and go through you. Large difference there. Large difference. Why is that a large difference? Because it's a mentality. The Cowboys' mentality has been flash. The 49ers' mentality has been punch.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys' mentality revolves around speed. The 49ers mentality revolves around not just speed, but power. How many times on this show, my friend, have you said the mental edge belongs with San Francisco because of how they play?
I've said it often, and so have you.
Mm-hmm. I've said since the week they lost to Arizona, and Cole can verify it, I've said since the week they laid an egg against Arizona at home that the 49ers are the most dangerous team in the NFC. All I kept saying was all they need to do is to get in. This includes a loss at Seattle and a loss at Tennessee.
And I remember you said you felt they were going to run the table, and this isn't a well, you said this, but it didn't happen type of thing. No. what I gathered from when you said they need to run the table was their mentality needs to switch. They need to get back to who they are.
Correct.
Because in the losses to the Titans and the Seahawks, both on the road, they still were playing their identity. The problem with that was, well, you are human. You are bound to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. But
the fact that they're in and they showed no signs of being in after the home Cardinals game, it was tantamount to running the table for the 49ers. So your mentality, you were right. People would probably pick your words apart and say you're wrong, but your mentality was right because they did run the table.
Here's the best part. Garoppolo played 15 games of the 17.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he threw for 3,810 yards.
And I'm impressed that he threw for that much in 15. I'm impressed.
15 games, 3,810 yards. And the best part about that, missing 2 games and still throwing for 3,800 yards, he was only 100 plus away from his high where he played all 16 games. Know when that happened? 2 years ago.
Yep. That's why I was impressed, because I was thinking if he played 16 of that 17, he would have gone over 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it would not have been, because I remember saying to you, you don't necessarily need him to go 4,000 in the season, and I still really wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I still would say for that type of team, that's impressive. But yeah, you do not want him to go over 4,000 because it's not an indictment on him.
Right. It's
I would say that
against the 49ers and not sticking to their truth.
Sticking to their truth. Because I would say that if their quarterback was Aaron Rodgers, I'd say that their quarterback was Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to have a quarterback to throw for 300 yards every game. 225 is good enough. 250 is basically gravy to me.
Mm-hmm. 257 was his average.
Mm-hmm.
257 was Garoppolo's average, including 5 300-yard games. 2 of those were on the road. 3 of those were on the road. I beg your pardon. 3 were on the road. Seattle, Tennessee, Chicago.
Yeah. So to me, that number is pretty spot on. I would like for him to throw about that. Maybe not much more, maybe not much less. But yeah, that makes me say, okay, well they were running their offense the way he wanted to run it.
Mm-hmm.
And early on they weren't. And I think that's what
they
you
really
were pointing
weren't.
out to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the most dangerous player is Jimmy Garoppolo, not because of his numbers, but because of his mind, because of his brain, and how locked in he is with Kyle Shanahan, with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, and how he runs this offense.
I think what I like about him is that he has no ego.
None.
He if the team needs him to throw 40 passes, he'll do it, and has done it.
Mm-hmm.
If the team needs him to only throw 8, he'll do it.
You listening, Green Bay?
Too. And he's done that too.
You listening, Green Bay? Are you paying attention? Are you having nightmares? Because when the 49ers win Sunday, not a matter of if, but when they win Sunday, guess where they're headed? Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Field. That'll be the next stop. Yeah.
You know the best part?
Unless the Eagles beat the Bucs.
Unless the Eagles beat the Bucs.
Yeah.
You know the best part about that? The last 2 times that the 49ers have visited Lambeau Field in the postseason, or the last 2 times the last 3 times the 49ers have played the Packers in the postseason, they've won.
The Packers have not. The Packers didn't show up all 3 of those games. Yep.
The last 3 times the 49ers have played the Packers in the postseason, the 49ers have won. And if you're looking for a play in the last couple of years that identifies what Garoppolo is willing to do, I submit to you this example from New Orleans.
Garoppolo fires. It is caught. Still on his feet is Kittle with a
Now it's a 4th and 2. Of course, you're going to look for George Kittle. Kittle did the rest, but Garoppolo was locked in. He was trying to hit Kittle on all 4 downs when they started the drive. He hit Kittle for an 8-yard gain, missed him twice. 49ers spent a timeout, and Kyle Shanahan said, go back to him. He did. So, Dallas, if you want to sleep on the 49ers, in particular, you want to sleep on Jimmy Garoppolo, go right ahead. Here's the problem. You will do so at your own peril. You better have enough speed to get around this Hulk. You better have enough gumption to match their physicality. And you better have enough nerve to believe you can get around them. Because if any of those 3 pillars fall, so will you.
And you better have enough man in you.
Which I don't think they have.
To punch the 49ers in the mouth and advance to the divisional round. Because you're not going to get a more physical matchup within the NFC than Sunday.
Oh, by the way, Cowboy fan and Dak Prescott fan, you know who said recently on the Rich Eisen show that this was the worst draw for the Cowboys?
Which it was.
A Cowboy legend by the name of Michael Irvin.
He is correct.
Michael Irvin himself said this was the absolute worst draw for the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card round. And Michael Irvin's not the only one that have said as such.
Smart man is Mike.
He's played the 49ers 3 times.
Yep.
In the playoffs. And granted,
not just the not just the playoffs. The NFC Championship.
NFC Championship. 3 times.
All 3 times. Mm-hmm.
And even though the Cowboys won 2, they knew they were in a fight and a half. 2 of them were at Candlestick Park. 1 was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least the Cowboys won 2 of them. Do you know how much of a fight all 3 of those championship games were? Score notwithstanding. Study your history, Cowboy fan, and listen to Michael Irvin very closely. Because y'all got the wrong team in the wild card round. Sincerely, Brian Snow, host and creator, Snowman in the Morning, in proud association with Cole Sports with a Z.com. You think they'd learn by now? Nope. As my wife would say best, nope. Not happening. Chris Dietz is next, and he'll offer his perspective on this NFC wildcard game, as well as Georgia not being Georgia. Do you believe it? Snowman in the Morning, back in a flash.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delicia on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delicia, that is where you find it. Here, children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up. The kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delicia. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delicia, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy. And I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between, it really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and
sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
The COVID-19 vaccines are starting to become available across the country. And as they become available, you may be asking yourself, should I get it? Will it help me get back to doing the things I love? Like going out to my favorite restaurants, meeting with friends in person, or going on vacation and traveling again? And can I do it all without putting my family and those I love at risk? And is it safe? You've got questions, that's normal, which is why it's so important to get informed. The medical community has made it clear. The vaccines authorized for COVID-19 have met the highest safety standards and can help protect us. Visit getvaccineanswers.org for all the latest information on the COVID-19 vaccines. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you. A message brought to you by the Ad Council and the CDC.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Holy on smoke! Are you kidding me?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Tomorrow, 10:05 Eastern or 10:35 Eastern, I welcome a very, very dear friend on the pre-show. His name is Chris Bass. He's been very, very dear to me since I met him in 2006. We're going to do some catching up, and that's the name of the segment. Catching up with myself and Chris Bass. That's tomorrow, 10:05 here on the YouTube channel. Now, I had some fun on Tuesday when I brought up the name Paul Allen.
Oh, man.
I understand where PA comes from, because when you cover a team, that's your team. But doggone, Paul has me beat on some of his calls. And anybody who remembers Paul Allen, or who knows and is familiar with one Paul Allen, I'll just let the sounds tell the story. This is courtesy of the NFL and the Minnesota Vikings and their opponents therein. There we go.
Down. Joseph, come on! It is gone! No, he missed it. Good. Are you kidding me? He missed it right. He missed it right. Oh, my heavens. Oh, my. He missed it right. What a gut punch to a team, Paul, that play after play, toward the end, fought its way back.
missed it by like a foot. And Blair Walsh from 27 yards left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. Blair Walsh missed a 27-yard field goal, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to lose 10-9. Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter, near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw.
Looking at that play, he should have just held on to it, Paul. He should have. He could have easily gotten 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward.
But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
And the clock continues to run, PA. 17,
This is the
16,
favorite.
15.
See, they have to go deep into the end zone.
We better put some people in the end zone, right, Joe?
That's exactly right.
I mean,
Get
there's
back
nobody
there.
inside the 10.
Get back,
Here
guys.
it is. The season's on the line. 2 receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole. He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates. They're Minnesota Vikings crying on the field.
I do not laugh to make fun of him. I laugh in empathy because I've been there. In spirit, I've been there with some of the schools I've covered. I did a game in 2012 with Trinity International University. A football game. We were down 38-19. Somehow, within, I'd say 4 to 5 minutes, we came all the way back, had the lead. And then it was against Olivet Nazarene, Bourbonnais, Illinois. And then Olivet Nazarene got 2 plays, a pass interference, and they won at the gun. That was a long ride back.
I can only imagine.
Those kids fought their hearts out. Okay? John Misak, the critical Broncos fan, made a request of a call by Al Michaels. Well, John,
you got that.
Guess I do have it. I'm pulling it up right now. This is from 2000. ABC had the call, and y'all know how I feel about that. Favre to Freeman. And John, I hope this is right.
USA will let you in.
Just a minute. I keep forgetting about them having ads. And I'm using YouTube to get this, but this is from Lambeau Field in 2000. Here it is.
Favre lays it up for Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15? What are they going to roll it? He caught it? Touchdown. He did what?
Is that the one you're looking for? He did what?
That's probably my second best Al Michaels call ever.
Touchdown. He did what?
Definitely my favorite football call he ever made.
When you're a play-by-play announcer, and you and I have studied a lot of them, you don't script that.
No. No, That's the beauty of pros like him. You can tell he's in the moment with a statement like that.
Mm-hmm. I got another one that involves the Cleveland Browns and the great voice Jim Donovan.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a name I've heard in a minute.
Jim Donovan, who was TV voice for NBC for many, many years, is now the voice of the Cleveland Browns, and I want to get the right call here. And I believe you're not going to hear my partner for a minute because I'm trying to get the right call up here because Fox had the television call.
Step, he
Here it is.
First down, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Run, William, run. 20, 50, 10, 5. Touchdown.
That was the one. That was the one. Run, William, run. William Green was the running back for the Browns at the time. And I've heard so many stories about that particular call and that particular situation because he had been struggling to break one. He had been struggling to break one. Now, one of the more famous calls you will ever hear involves my beloved Chicago Bulls. And you know the call I'm looking up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Durham had one of the most iconic calls ever. I think this is Dick Stockton's call that I'm looking up here. I'm using YouTube as a weapon. So give me a couple seconds while we improvise here. But Jim Durham had a great call in 1989, May 7th of 1989. And I think this has both Dick Stockton and Jim Durham's call. This is Dick Stockton from CBS.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
This is Jim Durham's call.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael Jordan hits it at the foul line. 100.
I lost my voice. I lost my ears. And melted into a puddle of happiness. Especially, you know who taped that call for me? It wasn't me. It was my dad. My dad got that call for me. What's the best call you guys have heard? There's our question of the day right there. And I got a new favorite one. And it's courtesy of the legendary Brent Musburger. And this was last Sunday.
2 seconds on the clock. The Raiders are going to the playoffs. And Daniel Carlson is on to put a little front on the cake. A little 47-yarder. Jackpot, baby! Let's go to Cincinnati! Yeah, baby!
He wasn't excited at all, was he? He wasn't excited one bit, was he? Of course, we all know that to be a lie. Here's one of my other favorites. I got quite a few of these, and we got a little time here. There was a fellow by the name of Rod Bramlett, who was the longtime voice of the Auburn Tigers before he and his wife tragically passed in an auto accident. But he gave us this gem in 2013.
All right, here we go. 4th and 18 for the Tigers. Here's your ball game. Nick Marshall Stands in, steps up. He's going to throw downfield, just a home run ball, and it is tipped up. And Lewis caught it on the deflection. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Touchdown Auburn. Touchdown Auburn. A miracle in Jordan-Hare. A miracle in Jordan-Hare. 73 yards, and the Tigers, with 25 seconds to go, lead 43 to 38.
I watched that game and I couldn't believe it. I watched that game because Auburn was up 20, 37-17. Georgia came back, took the lead, and then that happened. And I got another gem for you. You know, one of my favorite all-time play-by-play announcers for college athletics is the late but legendary Larry Munson. Longtime voice of the Georgia Bulldogs. If you listen to the opening, I brought us in with this. Okay. I have it.
Behind him, gonna throw on a run, complete to the 25, to the 30, Lindsey Scott 35, 40, Lindsey Scott 45, 50, 45, 30, run, Lindsey, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5, Lindsey Scott, Lindsey Scott, Lindsey Scott.
This, of course, was 1980 between Georgia and Florida, and Lindsey Scott gave the Dogs a miracle. Listen to the commentary after the call, and this would hope give y'all an idea how much fun us play-by-play guys have when something like that happens and you didn't plan it, and no one planned it. You don't plan how you're going to call moments like that.
Larry, if you want a miracle, we just got one. Incredible play. Lindsey Scott caught the ball around the 40. There were a couple of players that had an angle. He knew that he had to run as fast as he possibly could. Well, I can't believe it. 92 yards, and Lindsey really got in the foot race. I broke my chair. I came right through a chair, a metal steel chair with about a 5-inch cushion. I broke it. The booth came apart. The stadium fell down. Now they do have to renovate this thing. They'll have to rebuild it now.
I broke my chair. You mentioned one Tuesday with Calvin Murphy, where he kept saying, I think it was 95.
Yeah, it was 95, yeah.
And he kept saying, there it is, as Drexler got the ball in, or got the inbounds pass.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can try to find that. I'm going to find that. Well, I'll try to. Mm-hmm. While I do that, I'm going to tell everybody tomorrow, we're going to start with catching up, as I have Chris Bass. I will have Chris Bass on the line with me. I don't think I have it. I don't have that one, but I am going to bring this up. Remember last Sunday in in Inglewood? I gotta quit saying Los Angeles, where the 49er fans took over SoFi Stadium. You do remember that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Matthew Stafford's wife Kelly had a very interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very, very interesting point. Here it is.
I'm not going to lie. I've never seen so many of the opposing team's fans at a game. And we came from Detroit, and there are a lot of good traveling teams there, but that was wild. Like, Matthew is on a silent count. And then for those of you who don't know what that is, like, he can't call, it's like when he hikes the ball, it's either a loud count where you can hear him, and that's what usually quarterbacks are on when they're at home, or a silent count. Matthew is on a silent count. Jimmy Garoppolo was not, who's the opposing quarterback. It was crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like that, but it made it very hard for us because I guess we weren't expecting to be on silent count.
Your thoughts, sir? I want to give you the floor first on this one. And again, that was Kelly Stafford, Matthew Stafford's wife, talking about how Matt was on a silent count and the Rams were the home team and Garoppolo was not, and they were the road team. Your thoughts?
It does not matter where you play. if you were the home team, and unfortunately most of the audience is cheering against you, so be it. You got to play that game no matter the atmosphere. And if you had an atmosphere where it was, in this case, pro 49er, I mean, for a San Franciscan, if they came from that area, I mean, it is like a 7-hour or 7-ish hour drive there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
people
that's about
can make
400. That's about 400 miles south, 430 miles south.
Yeah.
From the Bay to Inglewood.
Yeah. People can make a day of it, and they can drive down there, watch the game, then drive back the next day. If they all came from there, but of course I know some are also Los Angelinos too. So be it. If it was a pro 49ers crowd, you know where the fault goes. Fault goes with the Rams organization. If you're not going to push this team having a really good home atmosphere, you will have that happen. Look, the Cowboys had the same issue when they opened Jerry World because here was this same thing, this beautiful stadium that could seat a whole ton of people. Well, for the first couple of years, the Cowboys did not have a home field advantage with the crowd because it was pro whatever team they were playing.
Right.
And so, of course, what did Gerald do? He made sure, okay, well, we got to have a home field advantage. One, of course, is to get the team better, which they did. And another is to put in place, look, this is our home. We want to make sure that people know this is our spot. And so he did things like have Michael Irvin on the big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I mean, the organization has to foster the SoFi is the Rams' house type of flavor. If you just say, well, it's our home because it is in Inglewood. Well, I mean, that's not all that's going to be.
And I never heard a hype man so much for a team have to be involved. So how many times did we hear him say we can't hear you when the 49ers had the ball? And they still didn't get loud. They still didn't help.
Yeah.
49ers like, we don't care.
And nor should they. I mean, they're on the road. And yeah, that's the thing. So
that's another reason why I feel they're the most dangerous team in the NFC.
Yeah. Because they do. The fans do travel well with them too. But, I mean, so what if Stafford had to go with a silent count at home? Big deal. Since he has to do it on the road, he knows what to do when the situation gets to where the atmosphere it gets so loud that just regular verbal communication cannot be heard. Just in the huddle, he's a veteran. In the huddle, he would say, "Okay, we're gonna go on a silent count." That's all he had to do in the huddle. Now, if
I bet he did. How much you want to lay a bet he didn't?
Right.
How much you want to lay a bet he didn't?
Yeah, I don't think he did either. So if he had issues getting snap counts at home because the crowd was getting ballistic, that's not his fault. I mean, that's not the 49ers' fault.
Nope.
That's his fault.
That's his fault. That's absolutely his fault. All right, one more break, and I got a bronze sexual confession of my own, and this is a good one. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? They're all good. This one will be too. Back after this.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much, from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night, and every moment in between. It really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Everyone knows what kindergarten is, but have you heard of kindergarten and transitional kindergarten? Virtual learning where you use a morning meeting to do so? Well, if you look up Miss Delicia on YouTube with Morning Meeting with Miss Delicia, that is where you find it. Here children can learn about their names, what their names start with, the letters, circles, everything that we learned in kindergarten growing up. The kids can do now and can do it with Miss Delicia. Just go to youtube.com and search Miss Delicia, and when you do, and you put your child involved in this, do me a favor. Tell them Snowman sent you.
These are the sounds of a dinner. But not just any dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. Because without food, it can't. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations to the COVID-19 Relief Fund are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Your help is needed now more than ever, and every dollar makes a difference. That's feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. On behalf of Feeding America and families nationwide, thank you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect, in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Are you kidding me? Did you not get the memo?
Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah.
Fun fact. And the Critical Broncos fan, a.k.a. John Mysack, brought this to me. If you look at the Cardinals after their 7-0 start, they lost 5 straight home games.
Yes, they did.
And they are 3-1 on the road. The Rams are going to have some issues.
Yeah, and the last time they played in SoFi, the Rams got bullied by the Cardinals.
The Rams got bopped by the Cardinals. They got bullied. They got pushed around. Anyway, one more thing to do before we get out of here for the day. I had planned to extend it, but unfortunately, something has come up, so I got to get out of here at regular time. But before we go, I got this to handle.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Well, y'all know how this usually starts.
Oh no, not already.
Y'all know how this usually goes. And I'm probably going to have one tomorrow, but like I said, y'all know how this usually starts. So I had a conversation with a Bronzexual.
Oh my goodness.
And I can't get those brain cells back.
I know your pain on that.
As I said, I had a conversation with a Bronzexual, and the conversation went something like this. Have you seen LeBron play center before? He's doing it better than some of the so-called legends that played center.
Whoa. Wait. Where did you hear this blasphemy?
On a phone call.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. They just threw me for a loop because I wasn't ready to hear that. But please continue.
You think I was ready to hear that?
Oh my gosh.
So I said to this POS Bronzexual.
Oh my gosh.
No, I have not seen LeBron play center. I do not wish to see LeBron play center. Matter of fact, I don't wish to see LeBron play in the NBA anymore, period. He said, and why would you say such a thing? My answer caused him to hang up. When I said, quote, because he's ruined the NBA and held it hostage for almost 20 years. Close quote. Never heard from him again. I want you to hear me and hear me good, Bronzexuals. As I said earlier in the program, he's made 3 critical mistakes that has ruined 3 franchises. He ruined one of them twice. His hometown Cavaliers. If he was such a stalwart for the city of Cleveland and the city of Akron and all this other BS blankety blank deleted expletives, he'd have stayed. Now, I know the counter to that would be from someone who has no idea what the hell goes on in the NBA. You could say the same thing about Kevin Durant. Wrong. Because Kevin Durant wanted to win. LeBron James just wants to make movies. He's not interested in winning. Now, Cole, I want you to hear this very carefully.
Do I have to?
You're going to love this.
Okay.
Trust me, you're going to love this. I have 4 facts about LeBron James that nobody can refute. 1, he's ruined 3 franchises. He ruined one of them twice. 2nd, he's not interested in winning championships anymore. He's interested in pursuing the all-time scoring title, which takes away from his pursuit of championships. He is interested in 40,000, 10,000, and 10,000, and none of it involves money. That's fact number 2. Fact number 3, and he admitted this, he's chasing a ghost. Who's the ghost? Michael Jordan. And fact number 4, his greatest of all time candidacy stopped in 2011.
You're right. You were exactly right. I wanted to and love to hear that because all of that is facts. All of them.
Mm-hmm. So I had a conversation with another bronsexual.
Oh, good Lord.
Who challenged my last statement that LeBron James's GOAT candidacy ended in 2011.
Okay, so how did he challenge?
By saying, quote, he was still the best player on the floor in that series, close quote. I stopped him right there.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
He challenged you.
With that piece of grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit.
Saying he still was the greatest player on the floor.
Like I said, he attempted to challenge me with that piece of grade A homogenized Holstein ass backwards bullshit.
The greatest player on the floor in that series was Dirk Nowitzki, and it was not even close.
The second greatest was Jason Terry, and it wasn't even close.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The greatest player of all time doesn't wet the bed in 4 consecutive fourth quarters where he had a grand total in games 3 through 6 in the fourth quarter where he had a grand total of, listen to me carefully, 8 points. In 48 fourth quarter minutes. Only one that's worse. The only one that's worse was Ben Simmons.
I'm about to say. Yeah, he
and
made
we'll
it worse
tackle
by
that.
not taking shots.
We'll tackle that tomorrow. To have y'all say that LeBron, to have these bronsexuals who continue to come after Cole and I, say that LeBron is still the greatest of all time. Are you out of your rabbit ass rat picking mind? That candidacy, in my eyes and Cole's eyes, never took shape. See, what you bronsexuals love to do is take what he does off the court and try to combine it with what he does on it. When I created Snowman in the morning, I had one rule. And that one rule is, I judge a person and an athlete by what they do on the field, and my opinions come from there, and the facts back it up.
That's fair.
Then LeBron James shows up. Look at his stats, one person said. I did. I'm not impressed. His rep. Saw that too. It's as backwards as his play is. His skin, his height, his arms. No, thank you.
That was well set up. Oh, I was not expecting that one.
Improvisation rules.
That was beautiful how you slowly broke that down. Oh my gosh, I was not ready for that.
Look how many you see go to finals and how many people want to be like LeBron James. Let me pose a question to a rational thinking human being. Would you want to be like LeBron James? I have a simple 2-word answer. Hell no.
Oh my gosh. But we should though, because he changed lives. I digress.
He changed lives and gave any new player an opportunity to play in the NBA. Wrong answer. I'm sorry. My partner's in a fit of hysterics. I'm not sorry for that. I've been meaning to make him laugh because I missed you yesterday. And this is all coming on the fly.
Oh my gosh.
And don't throw the argument of look at what he's doing at 37. What he's doing at 37 is slowing down. He's still being the coward that he is by walking off the floor, not shaking hands, saying good game, which is not what I was taught. He's still chunking up air balls from the 3-point line, and yet you people want to, you bronsexuals in particular, want to say he's shooting great from behind the arc. Okay, riddle me this. What's his career shooting percentage from the 3-point line? I'll answer that. Under 30%. You know who that reminds me of? Russell Westbrook. Oh, that's right. He's his teammate because LeBron wanted Russell Westbrook on his team, and now it seems like LeBron wants to chuck Russell Westbrook into the Pacific Ocean.
That sounds like LeBron James. That sounds like a LeBron James special. You no longer serve my needs. You go off the team. Heck, and no one's exempt, including Dwayne Wade. You remember when he was a Cavalier?
And he sent him packing.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Rose sent him packing.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Crowder sent him packing. If I were Dwayne Wade, I would cut all ties with LeBron James. For that reason. You had me on the team. We were back together, and you had me traded? Bitch, are you sick?
You would cut off all ties with him.
I'd block every message he sent. Message, text, phone call. I don't want anything to do with you. You dirty dog. How many players, riddle me this, Batman. How many players has LeBron done dirty over 19 years?
Oh God,
don't answer that.
We lost count.
Thank you.
We lost count.
How many people off the floor has LeBron done dirty over the course of 19 years?
His ref so clean, we don't know how many.
Thank you. And for some bronsexual who can't type or write worth a damn say he is an icon with a 100 million follower, are you out of your rat-picking mind? Does it matter to me that he had 100 million follower? No. Does it matter to me that you think he's an icon? No, it doesn't. Does it matter to me that LeBron James is slowing down with time and is not going to carry the Lakers to a world championship this year? Yes, it does. Why? Because during the summer, when the signings of Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook were announced, everybody went gaga cuckoo over those signings, saying we're going to win 70 games and we're going to float to a world championship. I've had so many Laker fans and bronsexuals come at me saying 2022, we're celebrating in front of the Staples Center.
Oh my gosh. That was so hilarious. It still is.
And yet here they sit.
Some of the roster of AARP personnel that's going to win your championship. Okay, I'm sorry.
And yet here they sit, 21 up, 21 down. There are going to be more downs than ups. So you can follow your icon, your king, with his swag, his rep, his stats, whatever you want to do. You can believe that he gives teammates great salaries, which is a lie because he takes half of them. You can believe, if you want, that meeting him is like meeting Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Denzel Washington, Rihanna, and Drake. First of all, why'd you put Rihanna and Drake at the end of that, along with the rest of those icons? You're kidding, right? You're kidding. And last but not least, he changed lives. My ass. I've seen better. I've watched better. I've talked about better. I don't even have to say Michael Jeffrey Jordan to say I've talked about better. I've seen better.
His skin.
His skin. Who in the Vita blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell would want to look at his skin? This is the same fellow who allowed his... Y'all want to talk about stuff off the floor and try to mix it in his character? How about this? And this is the only time I will use this. This is the same fellow who allowed his wife to smoke in a non-smoking facility. We like to call it Progressive Field.
Game 7, 2016 World Series.
And did nothing about it.
Have some, baby.
And as I'll say again, he did nothing about it. Not a thing. So, Bronsexuals, do me a favor and try again. Please.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronsexual Confessions.
That felt good.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. That was your best one yet, but you unloaded all of the rounds in that one. Oh my gosh. The way you set up the last line of that of that cacophony of a horrible grammatically incorrect paragraph was genius. Because I wasn't even thinking, and then all of a sudden, when you hit me with the skin, I was like, "Oh Lord!"
I totally improvised on that. Listen, like I told you, the only thing I have in my notebooks are my guests. That's it. And when they're coming on. And I got to get Dietz on here. I'm willing to bet that he worked all night and he overslept. Lord knows I've done that.
Yeah.
But Dietz, we love you, and you're welcome on the show anytime. We got to get out of here because I'm hungry. I got some work to do. I got some uploading to do. And I have a resume to put together. Okay. Since people don't think I know what I'm doing, I'm going to do what I do best and piss them off. Did you forgot about that skin line, didn't you?
Oh my gosh. I did, because I remember how you were just picking that apart. I was like, okay, I think he's doing that last sentence. I told him about his skin part. Oh my gosh, man. Them fools are light in the effing loafers, man. Oh my gosh, sugar britches for real.
I close with this.
Oh my!
And I asked you this question off the air. Now I'm going to ask you on it about that particular grammatically incorrect backwards paragraph. Not about the man, but about the paragraph.
Yes, not about the man.
Doesn't that sound a little fruity to you?
Oh my gosh! Look, that could be framed and placed in the LGBTQ Hall of Fame. Oh my God.
And to think he said I'll stop there. You know where I'm going, but I'm going to stop there and save that for tomorrow. I'm saving it for tomorrow because I'm going to break down that entire paragraph.
Oh my gosh.
That's how we're going to open tomorrow.
Oh no, I'm going to have no stomach. Oh my gosh.
You made me lose my stomach when you sent it to me.
I had to share that
I know
with somebody.
I know it.
Because if I were to say, man, this person said this, I know you'd believe me, but you'd still say, nah, man, you making that stuff
up. You need to show me this one.
You need to show me this one.
All right. Well, that's how we're going to open the show tomorrow.
Oh, no.
And I'm guessing 25 minutes. I better not use 25 minutes here. We're getting the cue to wrap it up. So have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. Always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. Dream big, do bigger, and laugh a lot. Say it.